it's the way that you explained it, the size of these markets, and being able to increase your footprint, like you said, that just pounding away seems because the markets that you're dealing in are so large that you're nowhere near getting to a level where the growth might flatten out, or at least that's the way it seems to me. Jeremy, just really, do you guys have any?
I was just saying you're 100% correct in your assessment.
Do you guys have any competitors? I mean, who are they?
It kind of depends how you look at things. There is no company out there that is participating in that has created markets for the number and variety of asset classes that we have. So from that broad-based, holistic second market perspective, no, there are no competitors that are out there. Occasionally you'll see a website or two out there that says they're doing that, but if you know the market, they're not actually doing any transactions. But in terms of our individual markets, when you break it down on a market-by-market basis, certain of our markets don't really have any pure-play competitors. Others do absolutely have some competitors that exist. For example, our LP interest market, there's a company named NYPEX, which is NYPBEX, that exists out there. There's also one named Cogent, but they're not really, they're more of an investment bank than a marketplace, and so that's why when I'm talking about pure play competitors, there are actually very few out there, but those are kind of two examples that are kind of sort of, but have just either aren't a pure play, or if they are pure play, haven't met with much success.
Well, everything that I've go ahead, Jeremy.
No, I was just saying, they're either not a pure play, or if they are a pure play, many of them, most of them, in fact, have not met with much success. But they do exist. To answer the letter of your question.
Well, everything that I know about SecondMarket and our conversation and some of the research that I did for this, it just seems like a tremendously exciting company. The innovation is awesome. I believe that Barry said that, you guys kind of view yourself as like the NASDAQ for illiquid assets, and maybe, that's a level that someday I'm sure that you guys aspire to be, but, as far as the start and how everything's been going since the founding, I can't imagine that you guys could, you must be extremely thrilled with what's going on and the reception that you're getting from your customers and the participants.
Yeah, we absolutely have been thrilled. I would say almost without exception, anybody we talk to has embraced us with open arms in our concept, and they absolutely love what they hear. And I think a big reason for it is there has been a crisis of confidence in the financial markets, and the trust has been completely destroyed. People thought they knew what was going on, but it turns out, in fact, they did not. And that, or at least not to the extent that they thought they did. And that has really destroyed the trust between the markets and its participants. And, that is one of our core corporate philosophies, which is to put trust back into the system. Everything that we do, whether it's centralizing things or bringing transparency to these asset classes, improving settlement times, whatever it might be, we have to inject trust back into the system. If it is negative, or even if it is neutral, then it's not for SecondMarket. It has to add to the trust of the system. And honestly, it's the way it always should have been, but just never was. And that's how we look at things differently. That's how we're that new Wall Street that I was mentioning to you earlier. We're the people that you can go to trust because of the way we do things. You can know that you are buying what you thought you were buying, and you are selling what you thought you were selling, and you're doing it in the process in which you thought you were doing it. And if you can keep that going, that's really all you need to have a successful financial marketplace that can withstand the test of time.
Terrific, Jeremy. Our opinion at Benzinga is that there really is a crisis, and there's just a lack of confidence right now. And obviously, this is something that you guys have built into your mission, really, is to provide that, to provide a transparent marketplace. Jeremy, what in your opinion needs to happen in the broader markets? The markets that millions of Americans participate in, through either a 401k or the equity markets, the debt markets that a very significant percentage of us are invested in. What needs to happen, to bring back that confidence in our public markets?
That's a good question. One, a little outside of my area of expertise, how to fix the public markets. But yeah, although this is not an answer to your question, I think it provides some potential insight as to why it's going to be so difficult to either, one, figure out what to do, or more importantly, to actually implement whatever the right solution is to fix the public markets. And that is, there are so many large, powerful, incumbent players that whatever the solution is, it is going to be very difficult to implement, because you're going to have so many different opinions. And then even if you can arrive at some form of consensus on opinions, you're going to have a number of very big, old, powerful players who just don't want it to happen and are going to stand in the way. And so that is going to make anything difficult to implement. Okay.
Excuse me. Last question, Jeremy. Benzinga, we're a young, growing company. Obviously, we're interested in anybody's advice for a company that's in our situation, and our SecondMarket is perfect because you've been so successful, you're growing so fast. You started with a tremendous idea, a game-changing idea. What would your advice be to a company like ours that's just starting out and growing fast, but as far as going forward, what do we need to do in order to provide the best possible product for our readers and listeners?
Yeah, and it's funny you mentioned product, because that's actually, as you were asking the question, where I was going to take it. And I'll give two bits of completely conflicting advice, but it's important to take both of them.
Okay.
And that is, listen to your customers, but innovate yourself and don't worry about what they have to say. So what I mean by that is, what you need to do is listen to what your customers need. Don't ask them how to get you there, because their job and their expertise is not necessarily how to. All they know is they need to get to Philadelphia. They're in New York and they need to get to Philadelphia. Great. So you learn from your customers they need to get to Philadelphia. But don't ask them how they should get there, whether it's by train or airplane or car or walking. You need to figure that out yourselves. If you look at some of the greatest innovations, be it the iPhone or whatever it might be, they didn't do 40 focus groups and then test these things on various audiences. This was innovation, at least at its core. It was an innovation that came from the mind or minds of one or very few people. And so that's where they didn't try to get their customers to tell them how to get there. They just said, what are you trying to do? Great. Now that I know that, I'm going to innovate, and I'm going to figure out this innovation myself because I'm the best person. I'm the best company to do it. So listen to your customers, but at the same time, you have to rely on your own innovation to bring them ultimately where they're trying to go.
Great. Thank you very much, Jeremy. The advice was terrific. Like I said, SecondMarket sounds like just a tremendous idea. The company's doing great, and like I said, I'm just as excited as a lot of the other people about what the future may hold for SecondMarket, because I think that what you guys are doing is the new Wall Street. I think it's time for change, and I'm just happy that there's someone out there that feels the same way and, is doing something about it. So thank you very much for that, and thank you very much for taking the time to answer some of our questions. I really appreciate it.
So thank you, Ryan. It was a pleasure.
Thank you for listening to the Benzinga podcast. Send us some feedback. You can email me at Brian, BRIAN, at Benzinga, BENZINGA.com.